What's up, y'all? My name is Devontae, and I sacrificed my time so you don't have to. Can we... I'm sick and tired of this game. And we've been hearing this throughout the entire year so far, but more so in the past couple of days, knowing that allegedly Mercedes Mone was supposedly supposed to be signing with WWE, and now reports, not me, I mean, there's a good chance she still might show up in the Royal Rumble. People are talking about CM Punk and his negotiations falling through or whatever, and he still showed up to Survivor Series. So there's a good shot Mercedes Mone may still show up at the Royal Rumble. But whether she shows up in the Rumble, whether she comes back to WWE, whether she goes to AEW, in the end of the day, bruh, why are we pretending like Mercedes Moné's a fucking thing anyways, my nigga? Real talk. Stop for a second and really think about what... And it's so frustrating. You know what? At least let me read you this article, so at least you can have a better understanding as to where I'm coming from as far as negotiations falling through with Mercedes Mone. I'll leave a link down in the description box below. And mind you, this is coming from Dave Meltzer, so very much take this with a grain of salt. There are certain news articles or there are certain things pertaining to the news that I have no problem taking a Sean Ross Sapp and a Dave Meltzer at face value. And I could be wrong, but I think they got CM Punk wrong dramatically. They got them wrong horribly. So I cannot stress this enough. Take this with a grain of salt. This is not even my main point. I just feel like you guys should know this, and then I want to go into a better topic in regards to Mercedes Mone, also known as Sasha Banks. He says, and this is coming from Dave Meltzer, an excerpt, she was absolutely talking with WWE. From what I was told, they were far apart on money. There was one person in WWE who said, until she shows up and signs a contract, just remember what happened with Punk. I was told that this afternoon. Just remember what happened with Punk. I was told that by multiple people that they were far apart on money. Now, mind you, before I go to the next excerpt, I read something and I made a video on this, that Mercedes Mone was trying to ask for money very akin to what Charlotte Flair got paid on her new contract, which I think was just an extension also. I don't think that was her entire contract. I think they just gave her a big payout in regards to her extension for women. I don't think that was her entire contract, although I could be wrong. But Mercedes Mone was looking towards something along the lines of that. She wanted over $1 million, essentially, which there are very, very, very few women who make over $1 million. As a matter of fact, I could be wrong, but off the top of my head, I think it's just Charlotte and Becky. I can't think of anyone, at least it might be, but I can't think of any other woman on the roster who gets paid over $1 million. It's just Charlotte and Becky. And to think that Sasha Banks believes that she has done anything in recent memory to get that, it's so you have to be such a huge fucking narcissist to believe that you're in any way, shape, or form, not even comparable to the women, because I've said plenty of times, I don't think, not just the women, but nobody in the wrestling business today deserves their contracts. When you think about what happened in the past and what those guys had to do, and the things that they had to build up, and how more popular they were, and how big of a household names they were compared to the wrestlers nowadays, I don't think any of them deserve their contracts. But a next excerpt says, this is coming from Dave Meltzer again, the other thing with her is she has other things with her. What the hell? Who the hell typed this? Here we go with the shit. Oh, it's a Jeet. We've been through this. The other thing with her is she has other thing with her, whether it's acting or other. What in the fuck is this mumbo jumbo? Okay, I'm gonna try to break this down myself. The other thing with her is that she has other things with her, whether it's acting or other companies she's involved in that could be an issue. With AEW, I think she would have more freedom to act, although WWE will probably give you more freedom now than under Vince, because he's such a controlling Bro, holy fuck. I'm gonna just link it down in the description box below so you guys can read this. Holy shit, dude, I had a seizure reading this goddamn article. Oh, bro, Ringside News. If any of your employees are listening, we have had a love-hate relationship for like 4 years now. Please, for the love of God, stop hiring people with English as their fifth language, typing your damn articles. Bro, like, and I think the guy, Steve Correa, I think he's like a white person. Bro, like, my dude, stop enslaving Indians to write your shitty goddamn articles, bro. It's not that fucking hard, my dude. But I think we get the gist of what the fuck is going on right there, okay? Yo, Mercedes Mone fans, Sasha Banks stands. I gotta ask you, can you please tell me, in recent memory, what has Sasha Banks done that should put her on par with a Becky Lynch or a Charlotte Flair in terms, not, like, fuck anything wrestling related, just ignore that for a second. Why should Sasha Banks, given how she left the company, given what she has done in the past couple of months, minus the injury, ignore the injury, that plays a part also, but minus the injury, just look at her body of work between, let's say, June of 2022 to around June of 2023. I'll give her a year. So we're going to ignore the ankle injury for a minute, right? What has she done in that 1 year time span that puts her on par or gives her leverage to get paid more money than, say, an Io Sky, an Asuka, a Bayley, a Bianca Belair, a Rhea Ripley at this point? Can you guys tell me, do you really believe that what Sasha Banks has done means more? Because I'm leaving Becky and Charlotte out because they already have their millions of dollars. I'm talking about the women who most likely aren't. They're probably going to get $1 million. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Bianca and Rhea get $1 million contracts sooner rather than later. But, like, I mean, as of right now, I don't believe they have $1 million contracts yet. Do you think that Sasha Banks, with her body of work in the past year and a half, deserves to get $1 million contract before a Bianca Belair, before a Rhea Ripley, before an Asuka, before an Io Sky, before a Bayley? Do you truly believe that? I don't think you do. I think you're bullshitting yourselves. I think you're just saying this because you want to swim in Sasha Banks' pussy. And here's the thing, that's never going to happen. But I mean, just logically, what has Sasha Banks put herself into position in the better part of a year and a half to think that she could just go in front of the line and get $1 million contract before any of these women get their $1 million contracts? Like, even if you were to say, oh, well, Devontae, understand that what Sasha Banks and Mercedes Mone has been doing for the past couple of years, almost a full decade now within WWE, if you look at her past accolades, Devontae, you don't understand what's going on. Her pussy, I'm swimming, backstroking in that bitch. Okay, fine. Really, all you can logically do is eliminate Bianca Belair from that situation right there. You don't think Rhea Ripley's been doing this shit for nearly a decade now? Asuka, you don't think she's been wrestling longer than Sasha Banks overall? Huh? Bayley, she started almost 20 years ago as far as wrestling is considered. Probably a bigger super fan than Sasha Banks. That's been documented. That's why they're even friends, if I understand correctly. Like, all these wrestlers, if not on par with Sasha Banks as far as, you know, the length of time they've been pro wrestlers, the length of time they've been in WWE, at the very, very, very least, have been with the company and proving their worth with the company for the better part of the last 2 years, and the same time span that Sasha Banks has been gone from the company. Now, that's from a current standpoint. Now, I want to go back. I want to go back in the past. I want to go back around, let's say around 2013. What was Sasha Banks doing that was so important with the company? Can you help me out here within NXT? I won't go into the 2010, 2011, 2012. I want to go into around 2013. You know, around the time, that 2013, 2014 period, when she was known, you know, that's when she started to blow up a little bit, make a name for herself, when she was doing her stuff with, I think, Charlotte and, what was it, Summer Rae at the time, if I remember correctly. I think that's what they were doing at the time, right? That's when Sasha Banks started to make a name for herself. Can you tell me what she was doing at the time? I think she was playing the third wheel for the most part, right? Okay, cool. Then she kind of splits off a little tiny bit, right? She does her thing with Summer Rae for a little time, but she splits off and she makes a name for herself. She starts to get in the feuds with the Baileys and the Becky Lynchers and the Charlotte Flairs early on in around 2014, 2015 period. Can you tell me for the most part? Now, granted, I will say that Sasha Banks was a part of a huge movement. She was a figurehead in this big movement, the women's revolution. And people want to say things like the Bella Twins and stuff like that. I think you can give them their flowers. But really, when you look at it logistically, as far as like, the figureheads, the people who were putting in the actual physical work, the people who are known, yeah, you can look at the Four Horsewomen and they're probably right there, very, very up, if not probably number one as far as priorities are considered when thinking about what started this whole women's revolution stuff, right? But you act like Sasha Banks was the one who did it by herself. Charlotte was there. Becky was there. Bayley was there. She didn't do it by herself. Not to say that Sasha Banks is a bad wrestler, because that'd be far from the truth. But like, are we going to sit here and pretend as if Sasha Banks is like the standard bearer compared to like any other wrestlers who knows how to wrestle? Like, there are plenty of women wrestlers who can wrestle just like Sasha Banks. I would not say Sasha Banks is the best. Would I put her on like up there, probably in the top 10 or top 15 at the time? Yeah, of course I would. But let's stop pretending as if Sasha Banks is number one, because she's not number one. That's brutally subjective. I don't know who's number one, but I can tell you there are a bunch of women that you can look at and you can say for different reasons why they would be number one. Maybe you want to say Sasha Banks is number one, but there is no clear cut above. Like, again, I like to look at music and look at movies for an example. You look at 1997. Titanic is clearly the biggest movie, or 1998, I guess, because Titanic would have come in December. You can look at 1998 and you can clearly tell Titanic is the biggest movie in the world, right? You can look at music, and again, I love to use these references. You can look at Biggie and Pac. You can tell they were the biggest hip-hop acts at their time. You can look at Nirvana and Pearl Jam and all those bands. You can tell they were the biggest acts at their time, right? Right? You can look at cartoon shows, and you can look at Rugrats and SpongeBob SquarePants. You can tell they were the biggest cartoon shows that was ever produced within Nickelodeon. Clear cut. You cannot do the same thing for Sasha Banks. So why are you overrating her as if she is the best? You can argue one of the best, and even then, we go a little bit forward into 2015 and 2016. She had the match with Bayley, and granted, I will say that NXT match, that's an example of what you could say clear-cut is one of the best of all time. That match she had with Bayley in Brooklyn is one of the best female wrestling matches of all time within North America. Maybe one of the best female wrestling matches of all time, period. But like, for sure, it's the best women's match of the decade, and it's for sure the best women's match in NXT history, and it's for sure arguably one of the best women matches in WWE history, and it's for sure arguably, period. I will give them that credit. Sasha Banks versus Bayley at Brooklyn in 2015 is one of the best women wrestling matches of all time. I will give credit where credit is due. But at the same time, always remember that was on a smaller scale. That was on a small scale. It's not to discredit her as far as what she has done from an accolade standpoint. It's to be comparative and to say, okay, well, she did this on this smaller scale. When has she ever done this on a bigger scale? The match quality, the fanfare, everything that came along with that Brooklyn match was special. I will give them credit. But what has she done in that time span? If she was doing that, or even 1/10 of what she did in Brooklyn, in Japan, over and over and over and over again for about a year, then we could be talking about making millions of dollars. Because it wouldn't just be the aspect of the wrestling, which, by the way, we'll get into the Japan stuff. I think that's completely blown out of proportion too. But the character work that Sasha Banks was doing in 2015, it wasn't off the charts, but it was a character. It was something more than what most of the women had at the time. For whatever promotion in professional wrestling, she actually had a character, right? Now, granted, that character was inconsistent as fuck, and I still don't understand what the fuck the whole meaning behind the boss is. I mean, in that case, then, we're just gonna throw out random fucking character, fucking, fine, okay, just give me some randomizer, and I'll just go throw out somebody, the boss. I mean, Carmelo Hayes is the boss, right, in the end of the day, right? MVP was the boss in the end of the day, right? Am I tripping here? Huh? What am I missing here, right? I mean, you always have these characters in the end of the day, It's just a standard. But as a matter of fact, one may even call it a cliche for black people to be the boss when it comes to that kind of gimmick when you think about it, right? Everybody has to be balling, right? So please, miss me with that nonsense also. But then you go into 2016 What did she do on the Raw roster? For real, for real. Can you think? I can't remember anything. 2017? Huh? 2017 to 20, what? Probably 20? Maybe 2016 to 2020 in reality, but I'll say 2017 to 2020. I think I even made a video on this on my own Millennial Smart channel back in 2020 where I made a compilation video of like Terry Funk going forever, forever, forever with Bayley. I don't know if you got some OGs on the channel, if you remember that. I made a compilation video of that like 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah, because it was the fucking feud that never ended. That's what Sasha Banks and Bayley did for like, what, 3 or 4 years at that point. Like, that was it. And then it culminated in their Hell in a Cell match, which came way too quickly during the fucking brand COVID era shit. What did Sasha Banks do during that time period? Can you tell me? Am I missing something? All right, she teamed up with Bayley, which is great, but let's not mince words about this. That was Bayley mainly. Like, during the COVID period, that was mainly Bayley with the character work, all right? Not Sasha, that was Bayley. Like, let's not be revisionist history about this. Now, you can say that Sasha Banks was having some really, really good matches, but again, who wasn't? It's 2020 at that time. No different than today. Like, who the fuck doesn't have good matches in 2020? Good, that's awesome. I'm happy for you. Great. You're having good matches. You know what's an important position in a restaurant? Cashier. Anybody can fucking do it. No matter how fast you go, anybody can be a cashier. It doesn't matter. It's not really something that's like searching out nowadays. That's what good wrestling is nowadays. It's the cashier of wrestling. It's the register work of wrestling. Can you go do some truck work? Can you go work the aisles? Can you do inventory? Can you be an assistant manager? Can you be a manager? No? Oh, okay, you can just be an associate who works the cashier. Okay, great. That's awesome. I don't care how fast you can go. Everybody can fucking do that. Again, that's in-ring work, and that's how I view it nowadays. Everybody can fucking do it. At the time, it was 2020, and now it's 2022. You fast forward a little tiny bit, she had a lackluster women's title reign. You can't tell me anything spectacular about Sasha Banks' reign after the Bayley stuff. What, Carmella? Huh? Because that's all I can remember off the top of my head as far as feuds are considered. Carmella? That's the road, that's the hill you want to die on, Carmella, huh? Then she had a lackluster build to the WrestleMania match with Bianca Belair. Fucking horrible. I made a video about that also about 2.5 years ago. Trashing the build to that. That was seriously one of the most underwhelming fucking rivalries I've ever seen. You get to the WrestleMania match in itself, in my opinion, wasn't a big fan of the match. I know a lot of people like the match, still don't see it. Not to die on this hill. Whatever. I get it. Opinions are opinions. I'll go with the more honest, overwhelming, subjective opinion that people like the match. Fine. Whatever. But what happened afterwards? Huh? What happened afterwards, Sasha Banks, after the whole Bianca Belair stuff? I don't remember. Do you? I can't think of anything that Sasha Banks was doing at the time. I don't remember shit what Sasha Banks was doing from that point up until later on that year? Excuse me, maybe the following year? That's when she teamed up with Naomi for the Women Tag Team Championship belts? Huh, that she introduced with Bayley, by the way. I skipped over that. She introduced that with Bayley. Then threw a fucking temper tantrum when she didn't get her away with the titles because no one gave a shit about those titles then, and no one gives a shit about those titles now. Like, it was just the aesthetic of just introducing some new championship belts. No one actually gave a damn about the belts in themselves. You didn't really do anything to propose some new superstars coming into the roster and, maybe doing something with these wrestlers. And maybe she did. I don't know. My point being is, though, I'm talking about her career in correlation with what she's asking right now. Because when she threw that temper tantrum for the tag team championship belt, she left. Came back, feuded with Becky Lynch in a Hell in a Cell. Pretty decent work for the most part. The Hell in a Cell match was good. Can't tell you much about the rivalry, but the Hell in a Cell match in itself was good. Fell off again. Okay, and now here we are now after the whole tag team title debacle stuff with Naomi. She threw another temper tantrum. Because that's what Sasha Banks is good at, is throwing temper tantrums. And she leaves the company. Then she goes on this world tour doing stuff in Japan. I can't even tell you. I think she wrestled Kairi Sane, right? I can't think of anybody else. And even with the Kairi Sane match, if I remember correctly, it was a bunch of botches and shit happening within that match. And, she was talking about playing the fucking guitar at a press conference. You tell me. She came up with some cringy ass new theme song. Money, do 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 do, money, do 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 do, money, do do do. What the fuck? And here we are, present day. I just broke down Sasha Banks' whole career for you for the most part since being in NXT. Do you think any of that warrants $1 million fucking dollars? Any of that? I don't like Becky Lynch. I don't like Charlotte Flair. I've said plenty of times, none of them deserve the money that they're fucking paid. I said that in the beginning of the video, and I'm saying that in the end of the video. Right? And I think actually, didn't she wrestle fucking that Sarai girl also, if I'm not mistaken? I could be wrong about that. Sasha Banks. Nothing that actually hit the mainstream for you to go like, oh, well, she pulled a AJ Styles when he left TNA. Killed it in New Japan Pro Wrestling. She pulled a Cody Rhodes. Killed it around ROH and New Japan Pro Wrestling and eventually AEW. Huh? Did she do any of that? Huh? Hell, even the Kenny Omega killed it in Japan. No. None of that fucking happened. She went to Japan, she learned how to use chopsticks, and now she wants $1 million for learning how to use chopsticks. She can actually name more Pokemon past Pikachu, Bulbasaur, and fucking Squirtle, and now she wants a fucking $4 million contract. She wants a $10 million contract because she's money. Money. Now take your ass to AEW then. If you really think that you're worth that much money, then go to fucking AEW. At the end of the day, you're not missed. You're not missed. Oh, I'm not a big fan of CM Punk, but even I could at least say to myself, okay, well, I see the value of what CM Punk brings to the brand. What value does Sasha Banks? People are saying, whoa, holy shit, there's a good way they could bring in Sasha Banks by having her team up with Bayley. What? That's how you want to bring in Sasha Banks? Sasha, that's how little they think of you. They want you to get paid $1 million contract to team up with Bayley to take on Damage Control. They don't even want to bring you in to maybe go up against Charlotte Flair or go up against Bianca Belair or Rhea Ripley or Becky Lynch or any of the top tier women talent. They want you to team up with Bayley to take on Damage Control. And then what? Then should go after the women tag team championships as baby faces? You want to be paid $1 million for that, Sasha Banks? Get the fuck out of here. Yo, Sasha Banks is one of the most overrated women in professional wrestling history. I'm just going to flat out say it, all right? I don't approve of anything in regards to, like, believing she deserves any of the fucking money that she thinks she can get. She is subpar at best when it comes to the microphone work. Never really seen anything, and no one cannot. I dare you. Tell me a promo right now that Sasha Banks did that is memorable. Go ahead. Give me a memorable Sasha Banks promo. Go for it. Go for it. Take your time. All right, go ahead. Watch you have some fucking Sasha Banks fan standboy come out of nowhere. Well, it was this promo she did in 2016 when she was at Money. Yo, she's decent in the ring. But let's not make any mistake and pretend that she's really on par with what? An Asuka? Do you think that? Do you think she's on par with an Io Shirai for the most part? Huh? Do you really believe that, huh? Do you believe for the most part that she's out there, that she's on par with Rhea Ripley? Huh? Any of those girls right now? Maybe Sasha Banks about 6 or 7 years ago, but right now? What's your proof? Her botch match with fucking what? Sarai or Kairi Sane in Japan? Huh? I don't know. Maybe it's a different color wood that kind of gets you guys going and making you believe that she deserves $1 million contract. Fuck out of here, man. Yo, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I know I'm going to get some of the Sasha Mercedes fans coming out here. Devontae, you're a racist. Mind you, I'm black, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm a racist black man who hates black women because racism, right? Devontae, you're a sexist. Even though I literally just say all the women for the most part are better than Sasha Banks, and, you know, I completely put over Sasha Banks as having one of the best female matches of all time. That's fine. That's okay. Everything besides the actual question at hand, why does Sasha Banks deserve $1 million? And if your subjective answer is because, then you answered my question for me. You answered your own question. But with that being said, folks, that's my last video of the year. I mean, I'm assuming nothing else is going to happen. I mean, I'm pretty sure nothing else is going to happen. And we had a pretty fun 2023, right? We had ups and downs. Okay, we had fun. We kicked it off pretty strong. I can't remember what video. Was it I guess it would have been the Jay Briscoe stuff was the biggest stuff in the beginning of the year, right? Unfortunately. And we made our way down to, like, you know, all the trials and tribulations. My channel got deleted. I had a fun 2023. Hopefully we can have a fun 2024. And I'll be with you every step of the way through this journey we call life, holding hands and hopefully having sex with your girlfriend and or wife or both. I'm not gay. As always, my name is Devontae, and have a fun 2023. As cliche as this may sound, I'll be seeing you assholes next year. 2024, here we go!